Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, Spurs rookie Victor Wembanyama is unanimously named the NBA's Rookie of the Year, receiving all 99 first-place votes. Only the sixth time we've had a unanimous winner. Unfortunately, he finished second in the Defensive Player of the Year to Rudy Gobert, who won his fourth. He did receive 18 first-place votes. Coming up tonight, we got Celtics-Cavs Game 1, followed by Mavs Thunder here on San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is,
rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
absolutely ridiculous, and I'm pained.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportsstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for listening. However you may be doing that, whether it's on 94.1 FM, sasportsstar.com, or if you're part of the bullpen. That's right. On our YouTube page at SA Sports Star, you can always join him right there. Appreciate everybody who's jumped in already. You can comment along with the show, like Gary Murphy, who says, "Pledge to the edge." I appreciate you guys. Brad Records, Goldfinger, J.E., everybody that's already a part of the show. And, of course, if you want to call in and be a part of the show at any point in time, 210-656-ESPN. That's 210-656-3776. So good and bad news, as you heard in our Sports Center update, the fact that Victor Wembanyama was unanimously named the Rookie of the Year, which comes as no surprise to anyone. And he ends up finishing second to Rudy Gobert in the Defensive Player of the Year balloting. Got 18 first-place votes. But I think when you look at the voting breakdown, what you see is a lot of people abstained from even voting for Wemby. And I'm not saying he would have won the award because wins do matter, like for the MVP. We don't talk about players like quarterbacks or even players like Nikola Jokic unless they are winning for their team to win those awards. And Defensive Player of the Year certainly falls into that category. But the fact that people are leaving Wemby off the ballot entirely, probably because he's a rookie. Some of it may have to do with how much the Spurs won, didn't win. That's the issue that I've always had with the voting is use your eyes to understand the effect that someone is having on the court. And I think a lot of people left him off because he was a rookie. Now, would he have won? Maybe, probably not. Probably just would have been a closer race. But you look at advanced metrics, and Rudy Gobert is definitely up there in the advanced metrics. He had one of the best defensive ratings in the league this year. But Vic plays out to the perimeter, to inside in the paint. They played similar games, Vic 71, Rudy 76. The rebounds, Rudy Gobert, more of a rebounder, 12.9 per game. Victor Wembanyama, just over 10.5. Blocks is where Wembanyama led the league in blocks. He had 3.6 a game. Rudy only 2.1. And it wasn't just at the rim because he's tall. He also was top 50 in steals at 1.2 a game, while Rudy Gobert was not in the top 50 at all. He impacts the game on a lot of levels, and I thought the most impressive level that he impacts the game is on the court versus off the court. On the court, the Spurs are a top 5 defense. Off the court, they are 32nd in the league. And that's a very difficult thing to overlook if you're looking at numbers. But wins due to Jason Minix's point on the blitz, they have a big part to deal with it, which is one of the reasons I do believe Rudy Gobert is the winner. His team is better. They're playing in the playoffs. They can present this award to him during the playoffs like they do the MVP. And it matters. And it should matter. I'm not saying wins shouldn't matter. They should. They absolutely should. They shouldn't be the end all be all or the final barometer. And the fact that this is his first year in the league should be irrelevant. He is a player in the league. And it doesn't say defensive player of the year for everybody that's not a rookie is the defensive player of the year. That is my biggest gripe with it. And those are the types of voters that I think need to not be voting anymore, because it's easy to see what his impact on the court is. But finishing second, very well done. An incredible rookie season that the books have now finally closed on. And one of the great things that I saw was that Fanatics video last night, which was uberly impressive with the video monitors of all, not all, but a lot of the big name past Rookie of the Year winners like Shaquille O'Neal, David Robinson, Jason Kidd, and Grant Hill. They split a Rookie of the Year award at one point. Allen Iverson, and them telling him how bright the future is for him and what he's done this year. It was a very impressive feat by Fanatics to put this together and surprise him with it, basically. And very happy for Victor Wembanyama. He has surpassed expectations, which is hard to do when the bar was so incredibly high for the young man. And the sky feels like the limit. And it's good because Wemby has goals that he wants to accomplish in this league. Being one of the best to ever do it is one of those goals. This is a marker along the way, and maybe finishing second and being left off ballots will fuel his fire to return even greater. But I'll let Wemby tell you himself how important Rookie of the Year is to him.
I mean, my goals were always to help my team as best as I could and get better as the year went on. And I knew that in order to do this, I had to be individually good on the court, and dominant. So it was a huge thing for me and a big thing to get. So it's always been really important, and I'm glad it's finally official.
I'm glad it's finally official too. But now we get to look forward. And part of looking forward is, what will it be next year? And first and foremost, what will it be for Wemby next year? And he told the guys at Inside the NBA on TNT after winning the award and going on that show what he plans to work on to be better at next year.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff I plan on working on. Physically, of course, the work is never going to be done. So I've had my plan for months, ready for all of my body. And, we're going to keep discovering new ways to get better and to work on my body. And for basketball, there's a lot I want to work on. There's a lot Pop wants me to work on and the coaches. So I'm excited. But a big thing I can tell you is already, working on my balance and the use of my strength, learning to know even my body better in the space.
So he's working on his balance and his strength, and he wants to get stronger. Doesn't necessarily mean bigger. It means stronger. And one doesn't necessarily have to mean the other. He's going to get stronger. Another year inside an NBA facility with NBA weight room and NBA trainers all at his disposal. He is going to get stronger. He's going to work on his balance. So part of that's not being the strength and balance combined means being more physical in the low block. So things like what happened with Alperen Sengun or even Joel Embiid won't happen again to him in the coming seasons. That's not all he's going to work on, but it is one of the main things that he does feel after one season in the NBA is, yeah, the guys are strong and they're going to try and attack me. And I've got to be ready for that attack. I was pretty good this year. I think I can get better. And it's the next step of that evolution is what team is around Wemby to help him get better, because that's part of getting better. And we have the draft lottery coming up this Sunday, Mother's Day, 7:30 on ESPN. Lock in, because we'll know not only where the Spurs pick in the top 3, 5, but how many, because they own pick. And if it falls outside the top 6, they get that pick this year. And having 2 picks inside the top 10 could be beneficial in terms of the ability to possibly swing a trade and bring someone in. Bobby Marks, former GM and ESPN NBA front office exec, had a great 9-minute video basically breaking down what he thinks about the Spurs offseason. He said he's going to do another one after the lottery is complete, but he felt the need to get this out right now because a perceived ability for them to have to fast forward after Wemby's rookie season and how quickly they may need to do that. It's a really good interview, or I guess more of a piece that he did for ESPN that's on YouTube. We'll get into that a little bit later in the show, and I want to take your thoughts on that and which direction San Antonio should go. But at least one little nugget that kind of came out today that I saw on Twitter is, and I don't know the importance of it, I'm just stating what I'm seeing, and it looks to hold a level of importance. Trae Young tweeted out about an hour ago, "When I say it, I really mean it. Another day, another opportunity." And it's a photo of him taking a bow. And he has switched representation from clutch to CAA. What does that mean for his future in Atlanta? San Antonio is one of the places he has been openly talked about wanting to play with Wemby, by the way. But also LA is in that conversation as the Lakers might try and make a move. But it is at least worthy of note that Trae Young has switched representation from Clutch Sports to CAA. We'll discuss that and more with Joe Reinagle of the Blitz as he joins us next. Find out his thoughts on that, where we are in the playoffs, and what we expect moving forward in the playoffs, because the defending champs are on the ropes. That's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
Indianapolis Star. Do you remember Greg Doyle?
Yeah, the creepy guy.
For those that don't remember.
Hi, Caitlin. Greg Doyle, Indy Star. Real quick, I'm going to do this.
You like that?
I like that you're here. I like that you're here.
I do that at my family after every game, so.
Start doing it to me and we'll get along just fine.
According to longtime Indianapolis reporter Bob Kravitz, the Indy Star suspended Greg Doyle after that weird press conference.
I don't blame them. It went viral, as the kids say. So, I mean, everybody, it's like, dude, this guy's a creeper. Keep him away from Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
I like that you're here.
They're just that weird.
Just all of it.
I called her up, Caitlin.
Oh, that was creepy.
I like that you're here.
You okay?
I'm great.
Are you sure?
Fine.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I'm the guy that never gives 5 stars because I never believe that anything is perfect. But I would give them 20 stars if I could.
Ernest Stellar Review belongs to QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments. They came through when he badly needed relief for his aching knees, and doctors had told him that surgery was the only option.
What they're doing is cutting edge, and it really helps. And I'm a tough sell.
QC Kinetics is led by National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in this field. With 20 years of clinical work work, tons of research, teaching, publishing in non-surgical natural pain treatments. These are the medical pros to trust.
I'm living my life basically pain-free from what I was dealing with. So I'm a happy camper today, no doubt about it.
QC Kinetics. Call today to see if you're a candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still getting out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text FLASH to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SLASH to 321-321. That's slash to 321-321.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1225. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1225, 800-777-1225, or biglou.com.
Come to Generations Federal Credit Union for a great competitive rate on a home equity loan. Consolidate debt, pay off credit cards, renovate your home, and more. With flexible terms, fixed rates, and minimal closing costs. All with easy applications and fast local decisions. Apply today at Generations Federal Credit Union. Rates and terms subject to approval and may change without notice. Full terms and conditions at mygenfcu.org/homeequity. Equal housing lender.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-881-4242. That's 800-881-4242.
We're recording this Progressive commercial on a real boat to let people know that when you bundle your home, boat, and other vehicles...
What was that, Flo?
Progressive saves you money, Jamie!
Why are we doing this on a boat?
We were going for authenticity!
We're going to the city?
Authenticity!
You mean Atlantic City? But we're not in the Atlantic! Are we?
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up. I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LOT to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LOT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LOT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Tomorrow morning at 6, let AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson drive you to work. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
That's right. If you haven't heard, AJ Hoffman, new co-host with Rob Thompson on the Morning Huddle from 6 to 10 every weekday morning. Give them a try. I really enjoyed the show. I know we're two episodes in basically, but it's been really, really good. I enjoy the dichotomy, and they joined the Blitz today. And speaking of being joined by guys on the Blitz, Joe Reinigo of the Blitz joins me now via the Buyers Barricades guest line. And Joe, we'll start with the fact that y'all last couple of days have had Rob and AJ in studio, and y'all had a really interesting conversation about the future of this new Spurs arena. And if anybody hadn't heard it, I suggest you go listen in the audio vault presented by AA Best Bail Bonds at sasportstar.com or rewind on the YouTube. But the future of this building and the secrecy behind it, just intriguing of how close everything seems to be held to the chest right now by all parties involved.
Well, I can only imagine, Pledge, that the leaders and the people that are trying to make this happen don't want anything out because they don't want anything to get screwed up until they're ready to announce the details and what it's going to cost and how that's going to be paid for and all of that kind of stuff. I think it's got to happen, and they are running out of time. I think the lease at the Frost Bank Center runs out in 2030. So you want to get this done, start building that thing where you got 2 or 3 years to get it done and make a seamless transition into the new place. But the details are going to leak out. They always do. I'm just going to be very interested in how they make it all work and make it a downtown destination that everybody wants. I certainly want that too. I just look at downtown and go, man, how's that going to work? But I'm sure they'll figure out a way.
Well, if there's a will, there is a way. The only thing that
and money.
Yeah, exactly. And there's lots of that to be made off of this. The other big news, Wemby, Rookie of the Year, unanimous, only the 6th time in history, the first since Karl Anthony Towns almost 10 years ago. And today it was announced he finished 2nd in the Defensive Player of the Year voting behind Rudy Gobert. So kind of a banner year for Wemby as it comes to what he did versus expectations and how those things kind of married each other when it really seems that there was no way he could meet the expectations that were lofted upon him just because they were so astronomically high.
Pledge, that's a great point, and I think you hit the nail on the head there. This guy comes in with ginormous expectations. I mean, I don't think anybody else has come in with the kind of expectations that Wemby came in with, and he succeeded. I mean, beyond, I think, everybody's wildest dreams, especially when you watched him play early in the season. And he really was lost. I mean, it took a while for him to adjust to the NBA. But what was so fascinating about his improvement was, I think, more in his head than anywhere. We all knew he had the talent. We all knew he could play. But I think it was his head. I think something finally snapped in him saying that I belong here. I can play with these guys. And not only that, most of the time, most games, I'm the best player on the floor. And I think once that snapped, you saw Wemby just improve dramatically. And it was something to see. And I think that's going to continue. He's going to play against the best in Europe and the United States in the Olympics this summer and then come back for training camp. And there's just no telling how good this guy can be. I just think we've scratched the surface with him, and it's just going to be fascinating to watch.
Joe Reinigo of the Blitz joining me here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Of course, you can catch him and Jason every afternoon from 2 to 6, including tomorrow. You can visit them live out at the Big Blind as they will be broadcasting as they are upping their Wednesday 6K into a 12K tournament with no increase on the buy-in, from what I understand.
That's absolutely true. And that tournament's a blast. I played the last time we were live at the Big Blind. It's a lot of fun, a lot of friendly competition, some good players too. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. It really is.
So go out and check them out tomorrow out at the Big Blind, 281 in Redland Road. It's going to be a good time. Now, do you think if the Spurs were in the play-in, maybe the playoffs first round, and they had a top 10 defense surrounding Wemby, that it would have made a difference in where he would have finished in the Rookie of the Year ranking or Defensive Player of the Year rankings?
Look, I'll say this, and I've been saying it for a long time. I think, that would help. Yes, I do. And I think Jason Minix, who makes that point very well, and I think he has a point. But unfortunately, and whether you like it or not, and I've been around some of these writers for a long time,
Here we go.
some guys that stick around a long time. Look, it's one of those unwritten rules with NBA writers and voters that rookies don't win. Never has been one. And we could sit here and argue the merits, and I would most likely agree with you. In fact, I will. Victor probably deserved to win Defensive Player of the Year. But he had so many things against him, being on a bad team, and the fact that it's never happened before. Now, look, at some point in time, I'm sure it will happen. But I think you have to clean out this wave, this group of voters that we have right now, and get some more people in here with maybe a different mindset. But, whether you like it or not, it happens. It's not just basketball. It happens in other things as well. It's
Across
just there's
sports.
certain prejudices. Right. And that things have been done this way forever, and that's the way they're going to continue to be. And I think when you look at it, and these same voters that voted for Rudy Gobert for Defensive Player of the Year, the same voters that voted for Victor Wembanyama to win Rookie of the Year. So, you got to look at it that way. And a lot of them just sit there and think, look, we're not going to give this kid 2 awards back to back. And he's a rookie. It just doesn't happen. And look, that's the way that it is. Being on a bad team didn't help him. Absolutely. But I think that just unwritten rule by these folks played a big part in it.
And from the beginning, that has been my point, is to weed out those voters specifically for that reason. No more that he should have, because there's a good chance he still could have finished second behind him. But a lot of people abstaining from even voting for him were the ones that are the reason that he finished second and that it wasn't a closer race that it probably should have been. And that's been my point all along. Joe Reinigle of the Blitz joining me. Looking at the NBA playoffs, we got a couple of game ones tonight between the Celtics and Cavs, and of course the Thunder and Mavericks, which you can catch right here on San Antonio Sports Star starting at 8 o'clock with the pregame. And there is, I want to say, excitement in this year's playoffs, it feels like, because it doesn't feel like it's the same teams. It's not the Lakers. It's not the Celtics are still there, but the teams that are the mainstays in the top of the Western Conference, where it's like, these teams are going to meet in the finals, the Suns, whoever built the power team. It's not those teams this year. It is new faces. It is fresh faces. It is SGA. It is Anthony Edwards. It's Jalen Brunson. It's Tyrese Halliburton right now. Steph, KD, LeBron, Jimmy Butler, Embiid didn't make it past the first round.
I love the way the NBA playoffs are going, Pledge. You're absolutely right, dude. I love the way it's going, and I love watching these young players. I have become a huge fan of Anthony Edwards. I just think this guy, you talk about sky's the limit. This guy is young as well. What, 22, 23 years old? And, I mean, he's going to improve. You look at Jalen Brunson and what he's done, taking over the game yesterday. And bringing the Knicks back when it looked pretty dire for them. So, I mean, and SGA, what he's done, we'll get to watch him tonight against Luka. That's going to be a lot of fun and another fresh face. And I just think it's refreshing. I really do. I love the other guys that you mentioned. I do. But it's, man, I love seeing these young guys play and play the way that they are.
Is the defending champ in real trouble?
But you have to say they are, right? I mean, you lose 2 games at home against a team that you look like you have no clue what to do with. And I love the way Minnesota plays because Minnesota right now is playing like old school basketball. They actually play defense. And Denver has had no answer for anything that they've thrown at them. And it's boy, unless they have a secret weapon or some kind of secret plan up their sleeve, they're in trouble. They got to go win a couple of games to stay in this series in Minnesota, certainly at least one of them, and to get back into it. But right now, it just looks like Denver is lost. And what happened with Jamal Murray yesterday? I'm highly disappointed in his behavior yesterday. He completely lost it, frustrated, throwing stuff out on the floor. And who knows what's going to happen to him? He may not even be around for Game 3.
I would argue he shouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, I agree. He shouldn't be because somebody could have got hurt. When he throws that heating pad out there, somebody thing or he shouldn't be. So yeah, Denver's in big trouble. I don't think there's any question about that.
And I think the way they acted at Jamal Murray and Mike Malone, that tells you how much trouble they're in, because that's how frustrated they are, that their frustrations have manifested themselves in that way in that game.
They are still the defending champs. They do still have the best player in the league. And so, I want to see what happens in Game 3. And if Denver's got, any heart left, or has Minnesota already taken all that away, it's going to be fun to watch that on Friday night to see if Denver's got any fight left in them.
Who do you expect to see in the finals with what we've seen so far to this point?
I tell you what, Pledge, I obviously it's going to be hard to go against Minnesota the way they're playing. But they haven't lost a game yet. Remember, they swept Phoenix, and now they've won the first two against Denver. So, it's hard to go against them. But I really like the way the Dallas Mavericks are playing. And I think that them against Minnesota would be a good West Finals. What are the young fellas from OKC going to do? I think that's going to be a good series. But well, if you had to pick and make me pick somebody, it's got to be Minnesota. And boy, looking in the East, I think it's tough there. Boston, they have a choke factor. Will they, get it done this year? But right now, I'd have to say Boston and Minnesota. I mean, that seems like an easy choice at the moment.
Boston, and I was wondering about Boston because it feels like they've kind of fallen out of people's mind. And I didn't know if it was out of sight, out of mind, or if you just don't trust them because of their history of just not being able to finish in the playoffs.
Well, they haven't played in about a week, right? So it's like you do forget about them. They've been sitting around getting a lot of rest, and that's going to be interesting to see because Cleveland had such a tough battle with Orlando. So especially this first ball game, it's going to be interesting for sure.
I will say this. If I'm the Spurs, I am paying very close attention to the teams left in this postseason because I look at the Thunder, I look at the Timberwolves, I look at the Mavericks, I look at the Celtics, I look at the Knicks. Those are all teams that have drafted well, but also added a piece or two, be a free agency or trade. Remember last year, we thought bringing Kyrie to the Mavericks was going to be a train wreck. And they seem to have figured it out finally, given a full year and off season to kind of put things together.
Yeah, Kyrie's playing and behaving like a different dude. He blew up a couple of locker rooms along the way, but he's really playing well. Seems like he and Luka fit well. They enjoy playing with each other. So that Dallas team, I think, is going to be a tough out. I really do. No matter whether it's Oklahoma City in this series or whether they move on to face Minnesota in the next, they're going to be a tough out. And so the West is always fun, man. And it's just I love Western Conference basketball. No disrespect to the East, but it's just Western Conference basketball is just a lot of fun. And we got a lot of fun games ahead of us for sure.
Well, it's because all the best teams seemingly are in the Western Conference, it feels like. And
no
it's
kidding.
Been that way for about 2 to 3 decades, it feels like.
That's true.
He is Joe Reinigle. Catch him every weekday from 2 to 6 on the Blitz, including tomorrow live at the Big Blind, 281 in Redland Road, where you can go meet Jason and Joe. Joe, thanks for your time this evening.
Anytime, Pledge.
Appreciate you, Joe. That is Joe Ryangle joining me on the Buyers Barricades guest line, who provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. They are online at buyersbarricades.com. Coming up next, what do the Spurs have to do to really get things going in the right direction? Do they need a big name? Because there is a player in the NBA that tweeted something or posted on X, and it's at least something that makes you raise your eyebrows. We'll discuss next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, the playoffs continue. Anthony Edwards is separating, but he's not the MVP of the playoffs.
Mavs, Thunder, Celtics, Cavs, who takes game one, all that and more on the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle and Rob Thompson, morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Big Blind is celebrating their official grand opening this week, starting with an epic 12K tournament on Wednesday the 8th. 10K tournaments Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with $500 high hands every half hour and a 5K Texas free roll on Sunday. Plus daily blackjack tournaments. Plan now to celebrate the Big Blind grand opening this week. The Big Blind down from the Roo Pub at 281 in Redland Road. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com.
My name is John. I could not lose the weight I needed to. The Institute for Functional Health Wellness Program was the answer. It included a great deal of testing, supplements, and weekly face-to-face doctor visits. I finally had the accountability I needed. I am now 50 pounds lighter. I no longer have pain in my elbow, back, and hips. I have more energy and just feel and look so much better.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Hurry! Time's running out to shop spring savings at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to spring into deals on the appliances you need. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $50 on every $500 you spend on select LG major appliances. Because Lowe's knows spring savings. Offers valid through 5/15. Selection varies by location. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
The wait is almost over. Get ready for the 2024 NFL season as the full schedule is announced. Every rivalry, every rematch, every rookie debut, every game revealed. The 2024 NFL schedule release, presented by Verizon, coming in May. Live on NFL Network, ESPN2, and streaming on NFL Plus. Terms and conditions apply to NFL Plus. Visit NFL.com/schedule release to learn more.
Boot Barn honors a Western legacy built by those who persevere through resourceful determination. Ariat honors that same legacy by bringing innovative technology to classic pieces. Driven by a dedication to the craft, Ariat blends timeless Western artistry with advanced performance features for the modern cowboy and rodeo athlete. Out west, ingenuity is second to none. Ariat at Boot Barn.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. N61, visit staples.com/print for details.
At Progressive, we know how much you love your recreational vehicles, so we decided to record this commercial in an RV.
With a family on vacation.
Mom, who are these people? Oh, that's Flo and Jamie. They're recording a commercial, sweetie. Don't they do that in the studio?
Normally.
No.
But we wanted to feature a family who bundled their home and RV and saved with Progressive.
Yeah, it looks like you're all out of chips.
Okay, I think we'll just drop you off at the next gas station.
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
I like this beat. Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure, and we'll take your phone 656-3776 if you want to be a part of the conversation. But I look at the teams that are in the playoffs right now, and I think the Spurs have to at least take note of how all of these teams were built. Some had to trade for a superstar to pair with their superstar, like the Dallas Mavericks did, but they've also drafted extremely well. So when I hear cautiously aggressive and not skipping steps, I think it means they're not running after a guy because they're a guy. And they have a ton of draft capital, as ESPN NBA front office insider Bobby Marks pointed out yesterday in his breakdown of the Spurs' potential offseason and what it could look like and how that path forward could happen.
One of the storylines, as I said, is about accelerating. Are they in a position to accelerate the rebuild if a named all-star or an all-NBA player all of a sudden becomes available, or are they still in that kind of holding pattern? Because next year, San Antonio could have 5 first-round picks.
And that amount of draft capital gives them a ton of flexibility for the future, especially when next year's draft is perceived, especially over this year's class, which is perceived to be one of the worst. Next year's is perceived to be one of the best in recent history in terms of how deep that actual draft class is. And Bobby Marks says, if they want to do something, they've got everything they need.
I don't think where San Antonio is, they can just rely on drafting, develop, and retaining their own players unless they hit it in this year's draft with, the 5th pick, or maybe they move up. Who complements Victor if they're staying there? And we'll probably talk about more of that after Sunday. But as a whole, the roster is intact. You've got the flexibility. You've got the draft equity. You've got enough contracts to go out and do a deal.
But the big question becomes, are they willing to part with any of that draft equity?
But I think if you're thinking that all of a sudden that this team is going to be a 41-win team and they're going to be knocking on the door of the play-in, I think we're misspoken, or we're a little bit naive as far as where they're going to do that. But I do think there is a little bit of an uptick as far as trying to accelerate this rebuild. And that's where it comes into play as far as if San Antonio is willing to cash in some of these draft equity.
I think they are, but it has to be the right guy. And
this is Andrew Monaco.
Be literally anybody, because I look at the Spurs or the rest of the teams that are in the playoffs right now. Drafted Karl Anthony Towns, drafted Anthony Edwards, drafted Naz Mohammed. The Timberwolves have found a bunch of talent through the draft. They made one big move, and they gave up a king's ransom. And everybody, me And everybody laughed at the amount of draft picks unprotected that they gave up to acquire Rudy Gobert. If you make the right move, nobody's laughing anymore. The Houston Texans, when they traded up to get Will Anderson, everybody laughed at him. It worked. Nobody's laughing. You got a key cornerstone quarterback paired with a key cornerstone edge rusher. Rudy Gobert is the anchor to what is a team defensively who just won his 4th Defensive Player of the Year award that hangs their hat on that and look like they are on the precipice of punching their ticket into the Western Conference Finals. You look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Draft, Holmgren, Dort, Giddey. They've drafted extremely well. They traded for one piece. It was Paul George going out, and it was an unknown Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who was a first-round draft pick, but for the most part, an unknown that became an MVP candidate. You look at the Boston Celtics, drafted Jason Tatum. They went out and traded these last 2 years to acquire a Drew Holiday, and they shipped out Marcus Smart, who they drafted, and they brought in a Derek White from the Spurs. It is a combination of drafting well and pairing that with players that will perform well alongside those guys in their roles. And, the Knicks drafted well, went out and spent a boatload of money on free agency on Jalen Brunson, who was a 6th man in Dallas. Nobody was excited that they spent that kind of money on Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is arguably, if not the best, the 2nd best player in the postseason right now. It's between him and Anthony Edwards with the way they're playing. The Nuggets, we know that they've built through the draft. They also spent some money in free agency, acquiring Aaron Gordon, bringing in a key piece like a Reggie Jackson. But Murray, Jokic, Porter, draft pick. It's a combination. To think the Spurs will only do this through the draft is a fallacy. And I don't think that they think they're going to do it all through the draft. A year ago, we thought the Kyrie Irving trade was the worst trade in the world with the way that the Mavericks finished that season. Now that they've had an offseason, people have realized what their roles are and how to play off one another. The Mavericks look really good, and we'll see how they look against the number 1 seed Thunder coming up tonight, a game you can catch right here on San Antonio Sports Star. My point is, this won't be done through just the draft. And Trae Young tweeted out today that he is taking a bow at center court in his Hawks uniform, and he has said goodbye to Clutch and hello to CAA as his new representation. There have been a lot of rumors surrounded around Trae and Wemby. Is that the move? I don't know. All I know is that Trae Young tweeted out today, when I say it, I really mean it. Another day, another opportunity, and it is a photo of him taking a bow. Is he saying goodbye to Clutch, or is he saying goodbye to Atlanta? And if he is, where does that put him, and who would be in on acquiring a Trae Young? This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I'm James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. Is it time to officially pull the plug on a dynasty? And what happens if you try and keep it together? We'll discuss next right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 941 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM.
Hey, baseball fans, go yard with BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. All season long, we're offering top odds on your favorite home run bets, shared 50K Grand Slam jackpots, fast and convenient ways to play same-game parlays, special boosts and tokens, and so much more. From the first pitch to the game-winning fireworks, there are more ways than ever to supercharge your excitement. Whether you want to combine multiple bets for the chance at a bigger payout or place a live bet as the game unfolds, BetMGM has all the home run betting options you could need. Download the BetMGM app, head to the ballpark, and get your piece of MLB action. BetMGM is an official partner of Major League Baseball. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. For New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. For West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the absolute worst time of year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the outdoor stuff that you love to do, like golfing, hiking, biking, jogging, playing on the beach. Hey, it's James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, don't go through the summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out body to give new life to your achy joints, like your knees, hips, back, shoulders. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, and best of all, no downtime. This is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call. QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, who is an orthopedic surgeon who became the future pioneer in regenerative medicine. He knew there had to be a better way. So call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
For the last 4 decades, San Antonio sports has dared this community to dream big through the transformational power of sport. For 40 years, we've inspired youth to get in the game, motivated San Antonians to live healthy, been a force behind places to play, and hosted events that impact. As we celebrate 40 years of dreaming big, we invite you to dream big along with us. To support our mission, donate today at sanantoniosports.org.
You want another way to add excitement to watching the NBA playoffs? Jason Minix here. Let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. It is a fan favorite way to play fantasy sports, especially playing the pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build your pick'em entry, and all you have to do is select higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. Endless projections to choose from. It is fantasy and it is legal in Texas. So get started by going to the easy-to-use Underdog Fantasy mobile app or go to the website underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry and a deposit offer. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, sign up using my promo code STAR at underdogfantasy.com.
I'm AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6. What's the latest with the Cowboys? And are they even ready for the season? It's all right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
A little bit breaking news. We were talking about earlier, Jamal Murray avoided suspension. He will be fined $100,000 for throwing objects towards officials during Game 2. No suspension for him. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I guess my tease wasn't that good because Fred Real in the bullpen picked it up already. He says, "Say it so, Pledge. I hope you're not talking about the Astros, but I know you are." And you just heard AJ Hoffman welcoming me back in right there. And I heard this morning on the Morning Huddle. And he brought up the fact that it's known the Astros just don't like doing these long 7 to 10-year deals with players. And they've seen a lot of people move on. George Springer, Carlos Correa. And even though we've seen those players move on, they had people in the farm system ready to come up and contribute. Kyle Tucker being one of them, Alex Bregman being one of them. Bregman and Tucker are up for extensions. And I'm not sure that Jim Crane's going to want to spend the length of money it's going to take to retain these guys. And if that's the case, is it in the best interest to blow it up and be sellers at the deadline to get max value so that you can start the rebuild quickly rather than later? Because the longer you wait on these, and if they leave and you get nothing, the way you did for a George Springer, the way you did for a Carlos Correa, and they just walk in free agency, the rebuild becomes that much harder. Because they spend a lot of assets at trade deadlines and future prospects winning these titles and going to 7 straight ALCSs and being within a game of the World Series last year. They spent big money on the bullpen. It's working this year. The bullpen's been one of the biggest disappointments for the Houston Astros. Spending all that money on Josh Hader, moving Presley in from closer to setup man, and Montero never worked. And you gave Montero money, you paid Hader, you have Presley. It didn't work. Now, Astros GM Dana Brown says he can't envision being sellers despite their 12-22 start. The team is too good. But if you prolong it, they either walk on their own accord if you're not going to keep them together with the deals that they want, which will slowly and systematically make you worse and worse, losing these players without proper prospects in line to replace. But also, the closer to trade deadlines or past trade deadlines that you get, the less value there is. And Presley perform, the less you're going to get at the trade deadline for them. Sometimes a good run is a good run. And as good as it's been for the Houston Astros, it very well may be time to at least contemplate looking in a different direction. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. If you're not going to be a seller, you better be a buyer because the team is currently constructed dead last in the American League at 12-22, tied with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Be sure to join me tomorrow. I appreciate everybody for swinging through. Until next time, this has been Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick DeLuca. Game 1 of Celtics-Cavs in Boston. The top seed in the East off to a good start in the semis. They lead by 9, 51-42, 4:35 until halftime. Jaylen Brown, 17 first-half points to go with 4 rebounds. He's 6 of 9 shooting. Jason Tatum has added 9 in the first half on 3 of 7 from the field. Donovan Mitchell has a Cavs high 14 on 5 of 11. Kristaps Porzingis out after getting hurt in round 1 for the Celtics. Jarrett Allen still a no-go for the Cavs as well.